If you want to keep your job, even move into a more advanced roles or earn more money in your career, you need to build skills that AI cannot replace. I'm not talking about technical skills here. Nowadays, these have already been replaced by AI or they will be replaced by AI in the next few years. No, I'm talking about soft skills, human-centric skills, social skills, people skills. According to recent research, those who scored highly on basic skills were more likely to earn higher wages throughout their careers, move into more advanced roles, learn specialized skills more quickly, and were much more resilient to industry changes. I think times have certainly changed, and the skills you once thought would keep you employed will now put you on the list of people to fire. So I want to help update your knowledge and your skill set as well by teaching you 6 simple soft skills that you can learn to outsmart AI at work. Now, this first skill, you might think it is way too elementary, and you might be saying to yourself, well, Kara, of course I know how to read. I know that you know how to read. You are well educated. You are very intelligent. But don't you agree that you probably read a lot less often than what you did, say, maybe 5 or 10 years ago? Or don't you find that reading longer texts or more complicated texts is a lot more difficult and a lot more challenging, so you probably do it less often? I am brave enough to admit that I have felt and I feel these things myself, and it seems that I'm not alone, because polls from Gallup and the Bureau of Labor Statistics have found that Americans spend less time reading than ever. And it's not that difficult to understand why. Social media. We spend so much time scrolling through social media, looking at posts that only contain images, or if we do stop to read something, we read something that's only 2 or 3 lines long, and then we continue scrolling onto the next post. I find this is such a shame because we are rewiring our brains to only focus on something for a few seconds at a time. And this is negatively impacting not only our ability to read a book, but also our ability to understand what we are reading. And in the workplace, if you're limited like this, then it's also going to impact your ability to learn something new and your ability to solve a problem that might be complex or that might be complicated, making you a less desirable employee in the office and one who can easily be replaced by AI. So make yourself read. I encourage you to set a timer and try to read from 5 minutes, work your way up to 10 minutes, then from 10 minutes, work your way all up to 30 minutes. Try to read and try to do this on a regular basis. And over time, you will see how it is impacting your mind, how it is really helping you to focus on things for a lot longer, how it is really helping you to work through problems that might be complex, and also how it is helping you to understand a text or read a book that might be longer and that might be a little more complicated for you to understand. If I've convinced you about the reading comprehension, then you might be more open to hearing this next point, which is becoming good at basic math. So I know what you're thinking. You're probably remembering the time in high school when you were sitting in math class, asking yourself, when am I ever going to be using this math or these equations that I'm learning? Well, what you did not realize back then is there are a lot more benefits to being good at math than the actual math itself. A study from Stanford University found that the same brain regions that help you do math are also the regions you use for decision making and for attentional processes. So if you're not good at decision making and you don't do a lot of math, then that could be the reason why. Skills in math will also help you with your problem solving. So think about how you go about solving algorithms. You pull out all of the important information, you try to understand the problem, you identify what you know, what you don't know, and all of this then helps you to solve that equation. Well, these skills can also be used when you are problem solving, and they're easily transferable to real life business situations when you have to solve a problem. And if that is not enough, authors of this article say that people with broad, strong foundational skills, including reading comprehension, basic math, and communication skills, tend to learn faster and master more complex abilities over time. And it's these skills that were just mentioned that will help you to keep your job, to learn new skills, and to adapt to a changing work environment, which is something that we all need to do right now. The ability to collaborate is a highly sought after skill by employers and one that AI is not yet capable of. This includes the ability to work well in teams, to share information, to align goals, and also to keep friction in the team as low as possible. Think of what's required in your job for you to get things done. It's very likely that you need to rely on other people to do their job in order for you to do your tasks well. Some of those people might be in the office and it's fairly easy to interact and to connect with them, but other people might be remote and it might be a little more difficult to have that interpersonal interaction with them. You might also be working on a project that is cross-functional, meaning you need to interact with people who are in other departments, people you may have never even met before. There could be a variety of situations in which you need to rely on other people or work with other people in order to get a specific task or to get a specific job completed. Nobody works in a vacuum, especially if you're working in a large company. Everybody has their own tasks and responsibilities that they need to do, but they need to work together in order to move the bigger company goals forward. And the glue that keeps talent productive is social skill. David Denning, in his study of US jobs, shows that positions requiring a high level of social interaction grew by almost 12 percentage points between 1980 and 2012. I found this really interesting because as we are interacting more electronically with our colleagues and our co-workers via email and text messaging, the requirement for social skill, well, that has increased as well. And social skill that is required for interacting with people, right? So with less in-person interaction, the requirement for social skill that grew as well. So I was thinking about this and I thought, well, maybe it's the hierarchy, the change in hierarchy that we've seen in companies from, say, the 1980s, where the hierarchy was very vertical or very structured. Nowadays, I think it's a lot flatter. A lot more organizations are encouraging people to work more on the same level. You can see this in the open office spaces, open work environments, the hot desk setup that a lot of companies have nowadays, or even the yoga studios that they have, or the ping pong tables where they're trying to encourage more people to be social and to interact with one another a lot more. I don't know about you, but I would much rather interact with a real person and talk with a real person than I would with an AI robot. So I think that social skills are still really important in the workplace, and I think they will continue to be important in the future as well. So it's definitely in your best interest to try and work on and to try and build up your social skills. And it seems that big tech companies like Amazon, Google, and also Spotify, well, they agree with this. So in Google's Project Oxygen study, they found that the best managers excel at coaching, communication, and collaboration across teams. We've just spoken about collaboration, so let's turn our attention to coaching. Now, coaching is a skill that I have not really talked about in any of my YouTube videos, or very briefly, but it is definitely something that you will need to develop and build up if you want to move into a management level, or if you want to move into a leadership level, you will absolutely need it there. And it is something that will set you apart from AI, because it is not something that AI is yet really capable of, well, not like humans anyway. Coaching is usually done on an informal kind of basis, where somebody in your team might come to you with a problem that they are trying to work through and they can't do it, so they come to ask you for help. You might then need to coach them to help them work through that problem. Or you might notice a team member who is struggling with something. They haven't yet come to you, but they're struggling with something, and you might want to step in and coach them to do that task better. Yes, I understand that to a certain extent AI can help you with these things. You can put into ChatGPT the problem you're struggling with, and it might present to you a list of steps that you need to take in order to solve that problem. But what it can't do, like managers can or leaders can, is it can't give you that motivation. It can't give you that encouragement. It can't really make you feel like you can absolutely do that task yourself the next time around. This is a skill that only humans have right now, and the most sought after managers and the most sought after leaders, they are the ones who possess this skill. So if you want to be included in that group of people, then I encourage you to learn how to be a good coach, because that's what it's all about, how to be a good coach, how to encourage people, how to motivate people, how to make them feel that they can be independent, that they can learn a new skill, and that they can do the job that you need them to do. So if you haven't already, then I encourage you to develop your coaching skill. And this book up here will definitely help you with that. It's called The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay Stanier. I hope I have pronounced his name correctly. Forgive me if I haven't. But if you are interested in reading that book, the link for it is in the description below. I do encourage you to check it out. There is one specific skill that AI does pretty well, but people rely on AI too much for this skill, and that is critical thinking. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information. Anytime you have a bunch of information that you need to analyze and sort through, and you can't be bothered doing it, you probably put it through AI, and you probably ask AI to do it for you, and it does it reasonably well. A lot of managers are using this for performance reviews nowadays. They're putting in all of the data points that they have about employees as to how they're performing, and then they ask AI to analyze all those data points and then give them conclusions as to how that employee is performing. I did a video on this recently on my channel, and if you watch it, you will really get a deeper insight into how managers are using AI and the role AI is playing in performance reviews nowadays. But this increasing use of AI for these kinds of situations, it has led to a decline in critical thinking skills. And this means that as more people rely on AI, the less people are actually going to possess critical thinking skills, which is a really important part of being a manager and of being a leader as well. This article in Forbes describes critical thinking skills as a cornerstone of effective leadership. I mean, let's say you're in a meeting with somebody and they ask you a complicated question, a complex question that requires critical thinking skills. What are you going to do? You're going to pull out your phone and say, oh, hang on a minute, let me just ask ChatGPT and see what it says. This isn't going to make you look very good as a leader. It's not going to make you look very competent as a leader. In fact, it's actually going to make you look very replaceable as a leader. So if you are one of the rare managers and leaders who have critical thinking skills and you don't rely on AI to do this for you, then you will be in demand because you will have skills that other people do not. This article that I keep referring back to says that capabilities such as critical thinking, complex problem solving, and reasoning are crucial components of a dynamic and collective work environment and have become increasingly in demand. We've just spoken about critical thinking, but reasoning, that's an interesting one because it's tied in with logical reasoning, which is also linked to critical thinking. I might do a video in the future separating these different thinking methods. If you are interested in seeing a video like that, let me know in the comments, and if I get enough people saying they want to see it, then I might create one. Reasoning is the process of thinking about something in a logical way. It's a broad process that is used in everyday life where you make inferences to solve problems, to make judgments, and to form opinions as well. This article, it describes reasoning as a practical and intuitive approach to thinking. So, for example, you might say, every Monday I wake up in a bad mood. Today is Monday. Today I woke up in a bad mood. Because today is Monday and because every Monday you wake up in a bad mood, you are inferring or making a conclusion that today you will be in a bad mood because it is Monday. Now, I wanted to know whether AI was capable of reasoning, so I decided to ask AI itself. I put it into AI Assist and I asked them, is AI capable of reasoning? And this is the answer that I got. AI is capable of a form of reasoning, which involves using available information to make predictions, to draw conclusions, and to solve problems by breaking them down into smaller parts. However, this reasoning is not as flexible or intuitive as human reasoning, and it is still a developing area for AI technology. This is a pretty honest answer from AI if you ask me. So what does this mean for you? Well, if AI is not yet capable of this skill, well, not like humans anyway, and if it is an in-demand skill for managers and leaders to have, then I would say that if you spent time learning reasoning and developing your skill in reasoning, then you have an advantage over AI, and you will continue to be one of those managers and leaders who have an in-demand skill that other people do not, making you an employee who is much more likely to keep your job, maybe to get promoted, and maybe to earn more money as well. Thank you to all my channel members for supporting me in making this video and other videos on my channel. If you liked this video, then I recommend you watch this one next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.